Welcome back to the Run for God Bible in a Year podcast. This is the only running-centric Bible reading program on the planet, and our goal is to help get you stronger physically, mentally, and most importantly, spiritually as we read through the entire Bible in 365 days, whether you're listening in your car, on your couch, or while you're out running or walking. We know the Word of God can transform us all, and it is my prayer that you are blessed by what we do here today. We are on day 87, and our reading today will be from Joshua 19 and 20 and 21. So, here we go. But before we get to that, let's talk about our tip of the day. The tip of the day is this: use foam rollers or other massage items. I know there's a lot of people out there. I don't know if they think it's crazy or what, but there's a lot of people out there who don't use foam rollers. They don't use massage guns and things like that. And sometimes it's one particular type of massage implement that works better over another. So every runner, every walker needs to have a foam roller, and they need to learn how to use it. All sorts of videos out there to learn how to use it. Massage guns are good too. Golf balls, tennis balls, anything that will help massage out those knots in your muscles makes a huge difference. So get into the massage and you'll find out that you'll feel much better and be much healthier. All right, let's get into God's Word. Joshua 19. The second lot came out for Simeon, for the tribe of his descendants by their clans, but their inheritance was within the portion of Judah's descendants. Their inheritance included Beersheba or Sheba, Molada, Hazar Shual, Bala, Ezem, Eltolad, Bethul, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar Susa, Beth Leboeth, and Shuhuran, 13 cities with their villages. Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities with their villages. And all the villages surrounding these cities as far as Baalath Beer, Ramoth of the south. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Simeon's descendants by their clans. The inheritance of Simeon's descendants was within the territory of Judah's descendants, because the share of Judah's descendants was too large for them. So Simeon's descendants received an inheritance within Judah's portion. The third lot came up for Zebulun's descendants by their clans. The territory of their inheritance stretched as far as Sarid. Their border went up westward to Maralah, reached Debasheth, and met at the brook east of Jokneam. From Sarid it turned east toward the sunrise along the border of Chrisloth Tabor, went to Daberath, and went up to Japhia. From there it went east toward the sunrise to Gath Hefer and Eth Kazin. It extended to Rimmon, curving around Neah. The border then circled around Neah on the north to Hanathon and ended at the valley of Iphthah-el, along with Kata, Nahalala, Shimron, Adalah, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of Zebulun's descendants by their clans, these cities with their villages. The fourth lot came out for the tribe of Issachar's descendants by their clans. Their territory went to Jezreel and included Chesuleth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharath, Rabith, Kishion, Ebez, Rameth, En-Ganim, and Haddah, Beth-Pazez. The border reached Tabor, Shahazumah, and Beth-Shemesh, and ended at the Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar's descendants by their clans, the cities with their villages. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of Asher's descendants by their clans. Their boundary included Helkath, Hali, Beten, Ashlaph, Alamelech, Amad, Mishal, and reached westward to Carmel and Shihor Libnath. It turned eastward to Beth Dagon, past Zebulun and the valley of Iphtah El, or north toward Bel-Emek and Neiel, and went north to Kabul, Ebron, Rehob, Hammon, and Kanah, as far as Great Sidon. The boundary then turned to Ramah as far as the fortified city of Tyre. It turned back to Hosah and ended at the sea, included Mahalab, Akzib, Umah, Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Asher's descendants by their clans, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out for Naphtali's descendants by their clans. Their boundary went from Haleph and from the oak in Zananim, including Adami, Nekeb, and Jabneel as far as Lakum, and ended at the Jordan. To the west, the boundary turned to Aznoth Tabor and went from there to Hukok, reaching Zebulun on the south, Asher on the west, and Judah at the Jordan on the east. The fortified cities were Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Chinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, and Hazor, Iran, Migdal-El, Horem, Beth-Anath, and Beth-Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali's descendants by their clans, the cities with their villages. The seventh lot came out for the Danite tribe by its clans. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir-Shemesh, Shalabin, Aijalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltekeh, Gibbethon, Baalath, Jehud, Bene-Berek, Gath-Rimmon, Mejarkon, and Rakan, with the territory facing Joppa. When the territory of the Danites slipped out of their control, they went up and fought against Leshem, captured it, and struck it down with the sword. So they took possession of it, lived there, and renamed Leshem after the ancestor Dan. This was the inheritance of the Danite tribe by its clans, these cities with their villages. When they had finished distributing the land into its territories, the Israelites gave Joshua, son of Nun, an inheritance among them. By the Lord's command, they gave him the city Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, which he requested. He rebuilt the city and lived in it. These were the portions that Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of families distributed to the Israelite tribes by lot at Shiloh in the Lord's presence at the entrance to the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing up the land. Joshua chapter 20. Then the Lord spoke to Joshua, "Tell the Israelites, select your cities of refuge as I instructed you through Moses, so that a person who kills someone unintentionally or accidentally may flee there. These will be your refuge from the avenger of blood. When someone flees to one of these cities, stands at the entrance of the city gate, and states his case before the elders of that city, they are to bring him into the city and give him a place to live among them. And if the avenger of blood pursues them, they must not hand the one who committed manslaughter over to him, for he killed his neighbor accidentally and did not hate him beforehand. He is to stay in that city until he stands trial before the assembly, and until the death of the high priest serving at that time. Then the one who committed manslaughter may return home to his own city from which he fled." So they designated Kadesh in the hill country of Naphtali in Galilee, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. Across the Jordan east of Jericho, they selected Bezer on the wilderness plateau from Reuben's tribe, Ramoth in Gilead from Gad's tribe, and Golan in Bashan from Manasseh's tribe. These are the cities appointed for all the Israelites and foreigners among them, so that anyone who kills a person unintentionally may flee there and not die at the hand of the avenger of blood until he stands before the assembly. Joshua 21. The heads of the Levite families approached Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the families of the Israelite tribes. They told them at Shiloh in the land of Canaan, "The Lord commanded through Moses that we be given cities to live in with their pasture lands for our livestock." So the Israelites, by the Lord's command, gave the Levites these cities with their pasture lands from their inheritance. The lot came out for Kohathite clans. The Levites, who were the descendants of Aaron, the priest, received 13 cities by lot from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. The remaining descendants of Kohath received 10 cities by lot from the clans of the tribes of Ephraim, Dan, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. Gershon's descendants received 13 cities by lot from the clans of the tribes of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. Merari's descendants received 12 cities for their clans from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. The Israelites gave these cities with their pasture lands around them to the Levites by lot, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. The Israelites gave these cities by name from the tribes of the descendants of Judah and Simeon to the descendants of Aaron from the Kohathite clans of the Levites, because they received the first lot. They gave them Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, with its surrounding pasture lands in the hill country of Judah. Arba was the father of Anak. But they gave the fields and villages of the city to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and his possession. They gave to the descendants of Aaron the priest Hebron, the city of refuge, for one who commits manslaughter with its pasture lands, Libnah with its pasture lands, Jatir with its pasture lands, Eshtemoa with its pasture lands, Holon with its pasture lands, Debir with its pasture lands, Ain with its pasture lands, Juttah with its pasture lands, and Beth Shemesh with its pasture lands. 9 cities from these 2 tribes. From the tribe of Benjamin they gave Gibeon with its pasture lands, Geba with its pasture lands, Anathoth with its pasture lands, and Almon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. All 13 cities with their pasture lands were for the priests, the descendants of Aaron. The allotted cities to the remaining clans of Kohath's descendants, who were Levites, came from the tribe of Ephraim. The Israelites gave them Shechem, the city of refuge for the one who commits manslaughter, with its pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with its pasture lands, Kibzaim with its pasture lands, and Beth-horon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Dan they gave El-Tekeh with its pasture lands, Gibbethon with its pasture lands, Aijalon with its pasture lands, and Gath-Rimmon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From half the tribe of Manasseh they gave Tanakh with its pasture lands, and Gath-Rimmon with its pasture lands, 2 cities. All 10 cities with their pasture lands were for the clans of Kohath's other descendants. From half the tribe of Manasseh they gave the descendants of Gershon, who were one of the Levite clans, Golan, the city of refuge, for the one who commits manslaughter with its pasture lands in Bashan, and Beeshterah with its pasture lands, 2 cities. From the tribe of Issachar they gave Kishion with its pasture lands, Debarath with its pasture lands, Jarmuth with its pasture lands, and El-Ganim with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Asher they gave Mishal with its pasture lands, Abdon with its pasture lands, Helkath with its pasture lands, and Rehob with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Naphtali they gave Kadesh in Galilee, the city of refuge, for the one who commits manslaughter with its pasture lands, Hamath Dor with its pasture lands, and Kartan with its pasture lands, 3 cities. All 13 cities with their pasture lands were for the Gershonites by their clans. From the tribe of Zebulun they gave to the clans of the descendants of Merari, who were the remaining Levites, Jokneam with its pasture lands, Karta with its pasture lands, Dimnah with its pasture lands, Nahalalah with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Reuben they gave Bezer with its pasture lands, Jazah with its pasture lands, Kedemoth with its pasture lands, and Mephath with its pasture lands, 4 cities. From the tribe of Gad they gave Ramoth and Gilead, the city of refuge, for the one who commits manslaughter with its pasture lands, Mahanaim with its pasture lands, Heshbon with its pasture lands, and Jazer with its pasture lands. 4 cities in all. All 12 cities were allotted to the clans of Merari's descendants, the remaining Levite clans. Within the Israelite possession, there were 48 cities in all with their pasture lands for the Levites. Each of these cities had its own surrounding pasture lands. This was true for all the cities. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give their fathers, and they took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them rest on every side according to all he had sworn to their fathers. None of their enemies were able to stand against them, for the Lord handed over all their enemies to them. None of the good promises of the Lord had made to the house of Israel failed. Everything was fulfilled. May God richly bless the reading of his word. Boy, isn't those last 3 words, right? Everything was fulfilled. And as we move forward throughout the Bible, we're going to find that everything either has been fulfilled or will be fulfilled, because that's the way it works, right? All right. Let me give you a quote of the day to finish us off for today before tomorrow. This comes from Mahatma Gandhi. He says, "Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will." Yes, our mind. A lot of times we can be relatively weak in our body, but very strong in our mind. And very often, if we want to be strong in our mind, let us just focus on Jesus. And I promise you, we will be stronger, because he will be stronger, not because we are, but him through us. All right, until tomorrow, may God bless every step of every run and or walk. Go out there and shine your light.